sign says Diana's Bath. Let's go read it. It's private property. Interesting. Funny how that works. Rope swing over there too, which is cool. How's it going, guys? Today we are in Diagla National Park in southeast Queensland, and we're in the Mount Me section, and we're going to do a little section of Byron Creek. So there's a couple of tributaries that I want to do. I'm not quite sure what exactly one we're going to do. Depends if there's any water in this one. So I've kind of come in kind of off the K-break. I don't know exactly. It's a bit confusing in here, but anyway, we're on this track. Now, it's starting to go a bit down. I've only got two-wheel drive. I didn't quite want to risk it because two reasons. One, my tyres are getting a bit worn on the front. Second of all, it's pretty loose and a bit greasy on this clay shit here, and it's about to rain this afternoon as well. So if it does bucket down a couple of hours, I might not get back up this hill again. Don't want to risk it. But it's alright because I'm going to do a loop anyway. So I've parked at the top. I'm just going to walk down this bit here. Now there are there's two, and it kind of branches off into several little smaller tribs just in the side to the right here. Now they're not super long, so I don't really know if they're going to be flowing. If they are flowing, we could do a short loop and come up through there. Wow, I just slipped on a fucking rock. It went straight on my fucking palm. Look at this fucking deep cut. What a great fucking start. Anyway, as I was trying to fucking say, so there's some gullies in here. You can see one here. They only kind of start not far off this, so they may not really be flowing. But if they are, for whatever reason, we get some water. This track, we're going to follow this down. We're going to lose elevation. We're going to hit the tributary. We'll come back around. We'll go up these tribs, and then we'll do a loop back out to the car up the hill here. If that doesn't seem to be flowing, I might leave it till summer because it's only still spring at the moment, or B, it might never actually be good anyway, so who knows. Option B is the main gorgy part, but it's going to be a 10k loop. It's half of that's going to be the creek, and we'll do a long loop around top of all the, I think it runs about that way actually, is the line of the creek. We'll get up eventually, up for another track, and we'll do a loop back around to the car that way. So parking at the top and walking down this now, it's not that bad because we're going to climb back out the gorge and be up higher anyway. Either way, you've got to loop back to the car regardless of where you just park it. So whether I park at the creek way down the bottom here, yeah, I'm closer to the start for the water, but it's a longer walk at the end to get back versus parking kind of in the middle. Does that make sense? So you've got a bit of a walk to start the creek, you do the creek, and about the same sort of half the distance back out on the end. Anyway, we'll see how we go. My main issue is that it might rain, and 10k's is a lot to commit to if it's going to come in shit weather. But so far the radar's saying nothing's in this area, so we're just going to chance it. It said it was going to rain yesterday and it didn't rain, so it did rain pretty hard the last two nights before that. So today's Wednesday, and it's rained Monday night and I think Sunday night too, yeah. But anyway, it's kind of been hit and miss. So yeah, anyway, it's a good view. So yeah, we're still going to lose elevation. The fact that I slipped on my arse back there is probably a good reason why I didn't drive down it. I can't even walk it, how the car's going to rip itself to go up it. I'm surprised I'm not bleeding more. It's just like, It's just ripped the skin. There's blood obviously, but it's not pissing out. I've somehow just grazed it. I need to wash it, but I'll wait to get to the water. Anyway, so yeah, I've already done another longer tributary further up, which is what they call, some people would nickname it Secret Falls on all trails. It's a bit of an off track on the exit, and it really is a bit of a bastard. I remember I was up to nearly waist or head height of fucking ferns and stuff, and you felt very not comfortable with the fact there could be snakes. So you can kind of get in the creek on one trib to get in, start the loop, and you go out another trib, but that dries out by the time it hits the road. And usually is, yeah, a bush bash. And I don't just mean that, like I said, it's really dense, so I was kind of cursing the exit. But anyway, so I've done a bit of that. It was a good flow. That was in the middle of summer, but last year, so it was probably a really good time to do it. Don't know how it's going to be at the moment. That is a longer trip, but we'll see how we go, see how we feel. We could loop out a bit early and go out that same way, versus going right up the gorge even further. It's all about the same sort of kilometres really, whether I kind of loop out or walk a bit further and then loop out, because either way you've still got to kind of get out to the same ridge line. Anyways, none of that's going to make any sense to you right now. All you need to know is we're walking a fire trail, we're going to find water, we're going to walk that section of water, and then hopefully get out to a road again. And that'll be the day. So, anyway, should be good. Yeah, I'm not sure this has been done. Maybe not exactly the way I've done it on all trails. They've got 2 loops, but they don't include this part. Maybe this is super gorgy. Maybe I'm making a pretty hectic decision. It might be really deep water and steep sides. Maybe I can't get through. We're going to find out. If that does become the issue, we might have to retreat back the same way we've come here. Someone lost their shorts. I don't know how the fuck you do that. Anyway, threw it out the window and they're driving. Track's not bad here where we are, but like I said, the further you drive this way, the more you have to walk back after anyway. So you don't do any favours. The only way for this to work really well is if you had a car shuttle. Then you could just full drive right down to the creek down here, have someone parked up the other end where you're going to come out theoretically. That's if you can get through the gorge part. We're not 100% on how that's going to be too. So it still might fuck the car shuttle if you for some reason can't go all the way out. But anyway, yeah, and then you could car shuttle back to around here to get the other car. But anyway, so we're on a bit of a flat little bit here. And yeah, it's weird, we should be going down by now. I don't understand. We must curve around this and then go down the other section. There's a little bit of lantana around, not drastic amounts, but hopefully we don't have any issues with that. Yeah, checking with you soon. Now, alternative way for you to get in, at least to this part of the start of Byron Creek tributary, is you can come from the Ivanhoe side. But that's a much bigger drive to go around, and already had a bit of a late start as it is. Well, it's not that late, but I'm about 8:30 when I started versus normally try and get here by about 6 or 7. So yeah, if you're on the Ivanhoe side, you can come up this other road, you can get into the creek a bit, probably get close to it. But like I said, if you end up doing this massive loop, it still doesn't really help you. But if you want to just dip in the creek and do a section and backtrack, there's also what they call Diana's Pool, is kind of near that as well. And yeah, that's a bit easier if you're coming from the western side. But a few mud puddles here, even though it hasn't rained that much. I think there's a nice big deep rut someone's cut in. There's a gate there. I don't know what that track is. Anyway, See down here, got another vantage point here. We're still up. We haven't even gone down at all, really. I guess that's coming soon. Yeah, we need to get down into there. That's where our water is. Oh well, it's interesting to do this anyway. We could forward drive this, the gate's open. It's just this spot the start of our down. Yeah, look at this. This is where I might not have got up again. Maybe I could have got to here. Look at that view, that is sick. Look at that bit of the wall. That's cool, I didn't know there was kind of that much rock. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure what that is. In terms of it's a mountain. Oh, there's kind of like a spur going up with that rock. Look how cool that is. It's almost like a razorback. That's really interesting. No, I just thought it was all forest. Yeah, I don't think I'd get back up this. It's looking pretty steep. So yeah, I could have pushed it to here, but like I said, got to do a massive lip around, so yeah. This gives you more perspective. Very rutty, bumpy hill climb. Definitely four-wheel drive country. This is the second water bottle I've picked up. No water in to wash my hand, but that's alright. I've got my drinking water, but I'll just fucking hold off. It's not pouring out blood. It's just dusty in there. Definitely starting to lose our elevation fast. Should get real fucking gnarly. Be a fucking a fun climb in real low range to get back up this in full drive. Holy shit. So yeah, the advantage of driving around to the other side of the range is that you go over the diagonal of the range and you go down, and then you're just basically starting at creek level. There's no up and down. But like I said, if you climb up the creek, you've still got to return. So either way, you can't escape it. But yeah, this is just full on. Woo. Still an open track, like no trees blocking it or nothing. So now there's supposed to be a little track coming off this four-wheel drive track that will take us into the creek a bit further down. So there's a fence there, there's a bit of fucking metal. And hopefully that track's not overgrown. I think our track's zigzag, look at that. Big S-bend. Actually, no, I think it's a junction here. Looks like there's a track going that way too. We might be down the worst of the most of it. But yeah. A few birds about. Not too hot, it's only 22 degrees. Humidity's not bad. This gate's open. This is definitely, I don't know, they don't have very much to do in this section of National Park. Even all of Diagla, to be totally fair. They've got the gantry day use area and there's not much there besides picnic tables and looking at old fucking rusty mill stuff. Anyway, so yeah, this is a junction right here, so we'll figure out what the go is. What I was going to say was, yeah, so some of the other side track back up there, it had like horse tracks and they were fully overgrown with lantana, like fully. Like the horse wouldn't even walk through there. So I hope our track to the creek is not like that, otherwise it's going to fuck it up. Yeah, see that? That's another good example. Right in front of us, there's another track. There's a break, by the way. The track is fully lantanaed in here and you can barely even read the sign that's hidden in the bush. So what the fuck, if that's supposed to be a track? I don't really see how it is a track actually. There's no gate into that section. It's very weird. It's probably a walking track down here, look at that. Very shrouded in with shit. Alright, let's figure out where exactly we are. I don't know what that little track is, that's not marked on my map. Anyway, we've got to hang it right. So basically there's another track coming down in here. So zigzag down. We figured to keep going downhill, but that'll take us out to nowhere near the creek. That creek's in there. So next left, be another four-wheel drive track, and then off that will be our little track into the creek. See, so it's not far, probably not even 100 metres up here. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but there's a few bellbirds about. So we didn't really have to turn left because I realised the track just becomes the track we want to be on. It was just another little alternative way to get back up on the ridge that we were just on, which is that one that curves back around there. So it's supposed to be this track on our right to get us down into the creek. You know, tributaries are all in this section here. Still bloody steep here. It's not too bad, but it's still Lantana, so I don't really see how we're going to get a fucking track. And honestly, with that much Lantana, I'm saying, I don't see how it's going to be clear. But we'll see a little bit further. Looks like it does go down a little bit, and that's going to be, yeah, the further we go, the closer we lose a little bit of elevation, it will be better. But yeah, worst case, if that track's fully non-existent or just fucking shrouded with shit, we can push this forward drive track further all the way to Diane's pool, and then we can jump on the creek and come back. It'll take a bit more time, but there's an option. This track will get flatter and closer to the creek. We might not have to go all the way to Diane's, but I was curious to see what that is anyway. But yeah, old Bundaberg, this is the probably 5th bottle I picked up now. The can. Logan's with their forward drive, like always. Alright, so you come down the hill, you see this corner, and the spur looks very obvious, like hey, you can walk down this, and that's because this is it. This is exactly what you think. Oh, fuck, that bird was so camouflaged. I thought it was a leaf, it just flew away. Anyway, so this will take us down to the creek. So it looks very manageable. No Lantana. It's beautiful. Good shit. Alright, see it down at the water. As you start coming down, you get to a little bit where the gully obviously is still more to the right. This is a bit flat for a section. Almost goes up again, but it's just kind of just turning this bend and then it will go right down. And we're almost at the water. Like I say, if the first tribs on the right are looking dismal, we're just going up the main section. And hopefully we can get right up and do the big loop I want to do. Without complications, without rain, and a good time. So we'll see. I don't think there's a hell of a lot on the main trib. I think there's one section where there's potentiality of a couple of little drops, or at least medium-sized drops. It is a bit gorgy on the side, so that's really going to be, like I say, the test. I went up the Caboolture River recently, and there was a section that looked very, very similar to this in terms of the way the topographic lines are, and I didn't find anything massive. It was more just like boulders and big flow and wide creek and like gradual cascades. And then when I got to the section where I'm like, oh, this is it. Oh, the last one was kind of the main one we were chasing, and then it wasn't like substantial. This probably has a similar feel. I think the tribs that I have already done on this creek are probably the bigger and better ones, but again, they need flow. So it's a catch-22 with tribs. They're bigger, but they're normally drier. So anyway, we're just going to take what we get today, and it's going to be fun to explore this regardless. And if we get up a trib and we get out and it's all good, and whatever we find, if I can't do it all, we'll have to come back and loop yet another section. The day I did the trib last time, I took too many photos and my phone fucking died, and I didn't have a... Oh, I'm gonna fucking stack it again. Didn't have a... Fuck, it's getting real steep here. This last bit, woohoo! Looks like a full drive or motorbike has been up this hill and just churned the crap out of it. Yeah, I didn't have a battery bank and battery fucking power bank, and I missed out on a couple of levels of the waterfalls, which I was dirty about. But that's alright, I'll have to go back in there and hit those. We may even go out that way today. If we cut out earlier, we'll go out that way and I'll pick up where I left off, essentially, and have that fucking bullshit exit fucking bash again. Otherwise, we'll stick with the main creek. We'll go out a further exit further above. Anyway, so yeah, alright, so we're almost at the creek. Lantana's just kind of shrouded in the track. There's kind of a two split track. It's kind of that way and this way. I think this is the way. No one's been here for a while because this has not been snapped off at all. You know we're at the creek nearly because this palm tree's just appeared. Can't hear any water yet. Anyway, just get through this section and it'll be a pretty bloody place. Alrighty, so this is the smaller of the tribs that I said may not be flowing, and she's fucking dry. So the track continues. I don't know what this track does. It continues across here, as you can see. It zigzags apparently to the right, and then it just kind of ends at nowhere. It doesn't end back at the creek. It doesn't end at a fucking really at a hill. It just kind of just stops in the middle of fucking nothing. Now, before this is dead in the water, we've got to go downstream here. We're going to hit the junction of the main creek, and that should have some water. It's only 200 metres away. If that doesn't, well, this whole fucking journey is going to be dead in the water real fast. This is wide enough to walk here, so this obviously does get water, because it wouldn't be this open if it didn't get enough flow at some point. But yeah, it's very early in the season. I did have suspicions of this, but anyway, this was only the bonus tribs I was considering. They're not the be all and end all of the day. I believe the other creek should be flowing pretty well. So yeah, we'll get up here and see what the GO is. So this national park was once all logged. Here's some remnants of that. Some trees that have washed downstream, or even this section they didn't want, and they just abandoned the log because they had a bit of a bend maybe. They just cut it off. Slide it down here. This is the first gimpy I've seen so far today. So far the creek is, yep, it's pretty dry. So like I said, there is potentiality. Some good topographic lines up these tribs, up the other way, kind of splits into, I don't know, a series of smaller tribs, and in high flow you just obviously would follow the one that has the most water and see what you get. Now, don't tell me this is our junction because it looks pretty wide and I ain't seen any fucking water. Not good. Not fucking good. I can't believe this. Wow. This is crazy. This has got to be it. Holy shit, hey. Nothing. Can't believe it. All cut up for nothing. Went down that steep hill. It's like deja vu of last week. I got unlucky in Mount Glorious last week. Did 18 Ks and got 2 dry creeks. This has got to be the main creek. Holy fuck, eh? Alright, this is going to be a summer job. At least we have some understanding of what the fuck is going on here. Let me just check the map to be 1000%. Well, I figured the tributaries of this would be dry, but I figured this would still be flowing. But look how wide it is, and it's not flowing at all. We've had a little bit of rain lately, but obviously just not enough. It's going to need a lot to get this pumping. It's going to have to be February. I'm so shocked. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, the secret falls and the tribs that I've done, they're, like I said, coming off this creek, and they could have been dry. I expected that possibility for this time of year, but I still thought we would have got something like this main creek, but no. So we're going to have to find a new creek to do. That just fucks me right up. A lot of effort going down and a lot of effort to go back up, and yeah, so I'm keeping walking here a bit further because apparently there's another track that'll cross this creek to get us out. So we'll just go to that instead of going back up the one we just come down, that spur. So we'll find this track and we'll go up that way and do a loop back out. And yeah, this is gonna have to be put on hold. I think I need to skip Mount Glorious until all diagonal entirely now. This is just the second week in a row where I've got burned by no water, and normally it never ever happens. I at least find some sort of dribble. This is, yeah, unless the water's underground, but I don't think so. It's just incredible how dry it is. Look, we've actually got a 2-section wide island in between. They've even logged a tree in this island. Look at that. That stump. It's crazy. Alright. easy. Alright, so there was a horse track that crossed this creek and there was a little green park sign, which is random. So this is, I know I said there was tribs off this trib. This is actually still a trib itself. But this is a long main feeder trib. So this is, like I said, I expected water. Anyway, we're nearly going to be at the junction up here of the real Byron Creek. And that's where Diane's pool is. So look, since I don't really know what else we're going to do now because the weather is fast going to turn to shit. I don't have a lot of time to fucking try to go anywhere else. Being a slightly later start has fucked that. But anyway, we're just going to continue a little bit further. Like, there's supposed to be another road. There's supposed to be a road running parallel to the right of us, but I can't see it over there. And it was supposed to cross the creek, and it must have been not very discernible because I didn't even notice it. Anyway, regardless, we've only got like, I don't know, another 100 or 200 metres and we'll hit Byron Creek itself. We'll see if that's got some water in it. If it does, we'll go right for another couple 100 metres from that junction and we'll check out Diane's pool. As we get something for the effort, even though we could have driven around to the back side of the range to get to it. But anyway, if we get to our junction and she's dry, there won't be any point to walk to the pool because it'll just be like this. It'll be an open fucking bowl of rock with nothing in it probably. So we'll find out very quickly if it's going to be worth to check it out. And if not, we still can try to cut back right, find our track back up the ridge, and do the long arduous journey back uphill. So yeah, I could try to cut over to the apparent road that's running parallel to us, but this creek's fairly wide. I might as well just stick on this for the moment. So we get to our junction. Look how wide this is. You fucking drive 5 4-wheel drive side by side here. This is also a fucking geologist's dream. Look how much different types of rock there are, different colours. It's pretty crazy. Alright, got to be pretty bloody close to Byron Creek. Well, if you thought about driving up the creek, vehicle access is prohibited. It's clearly washed out from somewhere. Another cut log. You see even chainsaw marks in that tree, so it's not that old really. I'm assuming it's a chainsaw mark, could just be a fucking saw mark too. It's weird they would half cut it and then not finish it. Especially if there's a handsaw, normally they commit to the line because a lot of effort to restart sawing a handsaw line again. Okay, we're nearly there, a bit longer than I thought it was, but hopefully it's water. Well, crazily we got a bit of water. It's popped out. It's just dribbling too, if you see right there. Yes, we're still on the trib, so interesting. Alright, we're at Byron Creek, finally. And there's water, yay. I can wash my hand, yay. Now, Diane's pool is a little bit downstream, so we'll follow this around the bend till we get there. Now we'll have a look at the map and see what else we can do as an option B now. I don't know if there's much tributaries coming off this main bit of the creek here. I'll have to look at that option as well. It might be a long way away. Horse flies are starting to pick up a little bit annoying. So this part of this creek, this corner is pretty cool. Look at these massive rocks. It's crazy. You can kind of swim here. The water looks a bit on the dirtier side. It's got a little bit of blue tinge. I reckon it will clean up nice, but not yet. We're not quite there. I believe Diane, so that's called Diane's bath, not Diane's pool, by the way. But it's just up here. It's pretty much on that bend. See how there's starting to be a bit of a valley dip in the side of the range there. There could be a tributary waterfall as well, but from what we've seen, I reckon it's going to be dry. Or maybe we'll see a bit of a cliff face of anything, I don't know. We'll find out. I should try to cross here or probably go on the tree. There's a bit of a track around. I got a bit stuck in there and it turned to shit, so I kind of doubled back to the creek. So there's no really right or wrong way, but just, yeah. Just follow this log for a second so we don't sink in the shit. I don't know if you can tell, but that is about 3 meters high. And look at the debris. So when this creek fucking gets flood, holy shit. Better watch the fuck out. And I definitely wouldn't want to creek hop up this. tributary in super high flow because you'd probably fucking drown. That's some gnarly shit. Well, anyway, talking cheese now, look at how wide the creek is and how deep. It's almost platypus country. You hear those fucking cicadas wherever they are, just fucking going off. And we've got a few palms on the edge of the creek here, but she dries really fast on both sides. It's pretty incredible. Okay, we're nearly there. I had to cross over the creek, make it a bit easier to walk because look at this, we've got a nice open rock section versus trying to get around that on the other side. So yeah, look at these fucking caves up on the hill there. This is crazy. So this is like, not really sandstone, but I don't know down here what you call this. It might be still part of it. It's not traditional. That's fucking crazy, those cliffs and those walls. Wow. That's so cool. This might be it. I have to check the map, but I think that's a little bit of the trib where that gully could be. The potential trib waterfall, but anyway, should cross over. It's going to be a bit of a jump and a splash to get around, but I want to try and get over there and then see if I can see in. If it's worth it, then I'll come back through there and bash. There's a sign there, so I reckon this is it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, we're going to try to find a trail back up this way, but it doesn't look too bad to walk through that. There's got to be a trail, there's a sign. They would have put a sign if it wasn't it. This has been the deepest, widest bit. It's got an interesting grass. Anyway, let's jump through this. This tree is going to be my very dodgy step. This is it. The sign says Diana's Bath. Let's go read it. It's private property. Interesting. It's funny how that works. But you're welcome to visit. Accessed by the pool, by the upstream walking track. No idea what the walking track is. Fuck, look at these cliffs. Oh, that's fucking mammoth. Wow. I'm not sure, but I thought there might have been a trib in that gully. Not quite seeing where the water will run through. Maybe it does. Maybe it's in that little channel. Maybe it is, but maybe you just can't see it. Maybe you have to get in there. But I think it's going to be dry anyway. The other one was fucking dry. What else does it say? So it's saying we're upstream now, so we'd have to be here. But it's just saying walk this side of the creek. It's like, okay, well the other side's got a fucking sandstone near vertical wall. It's a bit hard to walk over that, buddy. That's nice, they put the shit here. Downstream is strictly out of bounds. Downstream. No, this area is a sanctuary, no floors to be removed, rubbish to be removed, camping is not permitted, trail bikes are strictly prohibited, you have to ask them to be camping, I guess. Cool. The rope swing over there too, which is cool. We'll go for a little lap down the side. So yeah, or maybe the trib's in the next gully, it's hard to know. Maybe there's two. We did cross over. It's like a bit of a overhang rock under that fucking massive sandstone blob. So yeah, it is sandstone. It's just the shitty looking sandstone, not the nice ones with the nice grain is what I can call it. I don't know. Smell a bit of bats in here. It is humidity, it is summer. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I was right, there was that tributary way into there, which could be a potentially big waterfall after some big rains. We might jump back across the creek and have a look just to see if there's any water dribbling out of it. I don't think so. And then apparently the track was supposed to be on this side of the creek the whole way, but we ended up on the other side because it was easier, so I don't know. That's strange. Maybe we cut in a bit wider, a bit away from the creek on the way back on this side. Just trying to figure out where this track is going. The lace monitor running away, I think. Maybe I should cut into the creek somewhere just here. Now it's still National Park on this other side. And it does kind of border up not far from here, but anyway, we've crossed around. Just gonna have a look. Looks like there could be a rock overhang all the way up the side of this fucking wall. There's multiple possibility of caves. Anyway, we'll just get over here and have a gaze. It's pretty gnarly. You can hang out under here, have a little fire, have a little camp. Even though you're not meant to camp here, but there's the rope swing, so if you want a bit of shade, this is your spot. Cool. Alright, so the water's a bit slimy. I'm not really here to swim. I'm going to shoot off, do the big walk out. I'm going to try to get in and look at Gregor's Creek next. We'll see how we go. That's a bit of a, going to be a dodgy mission, but hopefully got some water. That's my other problem. But yeah, it's cool. Like I said, this wasn't really the objective today. I have been curious about this. It wasn't high on my list, but obviously wanted to see it because it was marked on the map and just turned into it today. So yeah, let's boot on out. So you could actually go right up along this big sandstone rock, go around it and then come back down again, but we'll just go back the way we come. Alright, so I crossed back over. I just had some lunch too, I decided. It was 11:30, I was slightly early. This is our trib. You can see it's bone dry. It's got boulders, but yeah, this is potentially where the water's going to flow up and flow down, obviously. I don't know how good it gets in high rain, but maybe she comes alive, maybe she still dribbles, who knows. But if I come back and revisit Diana's Bath and this is flowing, definitely be going up this to look at the cliff line and see what big things are up there. There you can see the rock on the you know, the side of the cliff face. You can see it's going to be something up there. Anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to cross back over yet again. So this should have been done before I crossed the first time. Then I wouldn't have to be back over here. Anyway, oh, fucking these horseflies. Squashed a couple of them, but they just keep coming as usual. Oh, come on, land. No. Anyway, we'll try and follow whatever track they have on the other side, they reckon. We'll try and go wider. We'll go up and kind of cut the hill a bit in that open area and see how it goes. See if it's a bit better to get back. And yeah, I need to cross back again somewhere here. Probably my usual log back there was pretty good. Yeah. This tree I've used it. This will be the fourth time now. Third time, sorry. I'll be back. I'm back again. Righto. Alright, so there's been a fire for you in the last couple of years because still a lot of freshly burnt. I'm following this hill, which is a bit annoying because I don't know if it's any better, but we're more of a slant. Yeah, we're out of the creek stuff, but it's a bit of a fucking sideways walk. But anyway, it's a whole hill here. We just got to curve around it. Apparently there's a track pretty much where we started. When we first met Byron Creek, there's supposed to be another track, like I said, to get out. That'll feed us up. The bottle. A track that'll feed us up back to the forward drive track, which will then join to where we first went down the spur. So we've got to find that. So we're just going to keep going around. I don't know how I missed it, but I've just been walking on the side and all of a sudden I've got onto the track, which we're supposed to be on, but I don't really see how because I was looking at the side. It was like all open and looked very much on an angle. So anyway, we're on it now. Good shit. Yeah, I was going to say, because that other side when we crossed, the slabs of rock at least were flat. And now we're on this part with the path. Should be a nice easy run. Righto. See you when we find our exit track. Well, it's 12 o'clock and it got real hot, real fast. Suddenly humidity just come in and the sun's come out a bit and I don't see how it's supposed to fucking rain, but yeah, anyway. So I've clocked this now, this is what we've just done, and back to the car. This whole track today, it's going to be about 11 and a bit Ks. So it's pretty annoying just for that pool where if you had to come from this other end of the range, you could have been to that pool within probably 1K at the most when you walk in from. Yeah, apparently there's a, if the track's still open and all that shit, because it's technically private land and I don't know how the access works, but arguably it's shorter anyway. But anyway, can't help it, we're some horseshit or bullshit. We had to do this because we were almost here and just the way it panned out. At least I know for future. Too early for this. Anyway, like I said, we had 2 solid good nights of rain this week, so maybe it just didn't hit this far up the range. I only live 50 k's away, so I thought surely. Anyway, here's what it is. Yeah, so we cut right over this, we were much lower before. There you have it. Righto, so yeah, 11 k's. If I get into Gregor's Creek after this, it'll be like another 4, so do like a 15, 16 kilometre a day. Now I don't know if that's flowing, that's making me a bit nervous as well. It might be just a risk, I might have to just have a look at it. It's only about a K to cut into the creek to have a see if it's flowing, so it's not too bad, I guess. And there's another waterfall that called Terrace Creek that runs off the mtnebo road. Now I think it's flowing, but it steeply drops off, and I saw a bit of rock when I drove over this morning. I'm going to have a look at that on the way back as well. Even if I don't climb down it today, just want to see, one, is it sort of climbable? It looks pretty steep. And B, this track is pushing us across this creek, by the way. And B, is it even flowing at the moment? I don't know. But that's food for thought, and we'll figure that out from the road. It's not a long climb down if we can find a way and if it's flowing, but I might not do that today. Like I said, I'll go look at Gregor's. We'll see how we go. This track has kind of pushed me into nothingness here, which is a bit shitty. That might be our problem, where, like I said, our so-called track we're looking for to get out, it may be non-existent like this, which is going to be shit. Anyway, it's kind of a track running there. This is a really shady spot actually, it's nice after that full sun. And we kind of want to turn left, so I'm trying to figure out, is this it here? And it's super fucking overgrown. Really hard to understand what's going on here. This track goes a bit further. Let's see if this will actually be more better. Maybe the junction's up here, or maybe this is the junction where that's what we have to push through. It's saying it should be a turn here, so if it's not just here, if it's not right here, we have to go back. It could be it. Yeah, this is it. Good shit. Alright, so now we follow this left. That wasn't bad actually. So yeah, we are in their land now, but they're allowing it because you've got to get out of here somehow. And they can't expect you to creek up the way we come in. So this is the next best way. Versus there's supposed to be a track, like I said, on the other side of, this is our Trib Creek again, where we were on before. But I couldn't see that thing. I couldn't see it through the trees. But anyway, we're on this side now and I don't think it makes a difference. Alright, so this should join to another bit of a track up here. And you just want to keep pushing left and eventually it'll turn back into a four-wheel drive track apparently. Bit of a which way here. Let's just say, let's go this way. This is, the water just washed it away, like either it was just a road or a trib that just opened up out of nothing. A lot of trees cut down here. Well, if it's their own land, they probably just cut up the firewood and stuff. Okay, so yeah, here's our track, we go left. Yep, cool, so that just is a slight shortcut. Don't have to really bother about that one. Okay, so we follow this around. There'll be another junction, we can just keep hooking left again. And then there should be that track to the left that crosses the creek that I did not find. I didn't notice as we're walking through that trib because we're parallel to the trib, as I say. So anyway, I'll see you up here. It all makes sense why this is so dry, the creek. You look to the right here. Look how dry this fucking eucalyptus forest is. It's insane. Look at this ant's nest. It's hard to believe that was the wet little pocket. But like I say, as you get further upstream, it does get wetter and wetter, like the waterfalls. There are open sunny sections on the trib that I've done, but obviously it's a bit not as dry as this. Alright, so this is National Park boundaries. We're jumping back into National Park. Now this has got a pretty fucking dented gate. Someone's been ramming that. I'm not gonna bend that bar too well. Yeah. And a very large fucking padlock and chain. Anyway, I'm back in National. What the fuck's the sign say? Power link, righto. Future power station, really? Wow. Pump storage power station. So, access land is subject to the consent of the leasees concerned. Interesting. They might try and fuck up the access to fucking the creek. Pump storage power station. They're obviously going to use the water in some regard. Wonder when that's going to happen. So maybe there's no real houses in there. That's why they're trying to scare you with fucking, I don't know, signs saying surveillance and stuff, and a big fuck off gates if you don't drive in there. There's a lot of trees pushed down, but so here's the track that went in across the creek that I did not see on the creek, but I don't care about it now. I was going to maybe pop out here, but then I was like, let's go look at Diane's path. Okay, so this will take us up in our spur. We'll see that corner when we get to it, and then it's in exactly the same way back up to the car. So yeah, all in all, a lot of fucking down and effort for something we could have driven to ground level in the first place. Oh well, at least we explored this side of the park and walked this road before. It is what it is. You can't win them all. I win a lot, but not them all. Yeah, I'm just too eager, too early. I'm best off keeping out of Diagla until really heavy rain. So we'll go back to Gold Coast, and we'll be doing a bit in Sunny Coast recently, which is good. Look at that fucking mountain. Not sure what that is. It is a pretty prominent little peak with the rock up there, eh? I'm gonna Google the map on that one. It's got no name. But anyway, our main gorge we were gonna walk is up into the left there. So around that mountain essentially. So this is a long trib. That's the main trib of it, which is still dry apparently. And then right, well straight here, is the potentiality of those other tribs, but again, as we saw, they were dry. So really it splits into two different sections that you could easily do if it was been raining. Anyway, a lot of up now. Woo, it's gonna be fun. Well, it's just after 1 o'clock, nearly back at the car. You can hear thunder is rolling over there. It's darker towards the coast. Still got a bit of sun here, so I don't know if it's gonna actually eventuate here or not. I might just hover out there. So I'm a bit iffy about doing my next run. Yeah, it also is pretty fucking hot and humid now. It's annoying to have to start something in the middle of the day. I would prefer to beat the heat. It's one of those annoying things. Anyway, probably one more section of uphill, but we've got the bulk of the hard bit done. So it was about 2.5 k's. We went up this side of the spur. But yeah, I've enjoyed the journey anyway. Now you know how to get here and what the deal is and what not to do, when to do it. So anyway, get out and enjoy the bush anyway. That's the main thing in life. You know, still got exercise today, can't lose that, so still a win. I could walk around the same block around my neighbourhood, or I could come out here and do 11 k's with bellbirds. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, catch you in the next one. Peace out.